Hi, I'm Scott. Welcome to Synth Stuff. So NAMM 2023 is over and we did not get our new Montage. So was I wrong? I don't think so. So no, Yamaha did not come out with the expected replacement for the Montage. So this is a follow-up to my previous video about the Montage update that I will post a link to in the description below. In it, I give all the reasoning and logic that I used to think about whether or not Yamaha might be releasing a replacement for the Montage at NAMM this year. That didn't happen. And I did have someone who I knew at the show specifically go to the Yamaha booth and ask, is the Montage discontinued? He was told no. Do I believe that? Maybe. However, Yamaha is known to deny until release date. They are incredibly tight-lipped and secretive about new product announcements. They did have a white Montage at the show. However, you can't buy one. They're out of stock everywhere. And like I said in my previous video, the last time we saw something go mysteriously out of stock everywhere was the Modi X, just before they released the Modi X Plus. So is it possible that there is still a Montage coming out, or a replacement for the Montage? Quite possibly. We do know that Yamaha went through all the time and expense of registering that ANX logo and trademark, so we know there's something coming. And somebody actually pointed out in my last video that the ANX logo the Yamaha has registered actually includes a square and a triangle waveform in the logo itself, which is clever. So here's what I think might be happening. I think NAMM has just become less relevant. So either Yamaha isn't ready to release it, or maybe they think that NAMM is not the place where we want to make this announcement. NAMM used to be the place where everybody released all their new products. You were guaranteed the most press coverage, and it was a big deal to announce your product at NAMM. And we go back even just a few years. In 2017, we had Dave Smith's Instruments, before he got the sequential name back, released his Rev 2. We had the Electron Digitact, Akai MPC X. Back then, Pioneer was getting into synths. They kind of just disappeared, but Pioneer also partnered with Dave Smith, and they released that Torais analog synth. That was a big announcement. 2018, we had the Korg Prologue, Arturia Mini Brute, the Behringer Neutron. And I'm talking about synths alone here. I'm not talking about all the other stuff that gets released at NAMM. 2019, we had the Behringer Crave, the Korg Minilogue XD, the Korg Volca Drum and Volca Modular, and the Arturia Micro Freak. That was a huge release that year. 2020 was massive, despite the looming pandemic and shutdowns that were just happening. We had the Korg Wave State, the Sequential Pro 3 Nord Wave 2, the Moog Subsequent 25, the Korg ARP 2600, the Korg MS20, and the ASM Hydrasynth. A huge year for synth announcements was 2020. 2021, there was no show. It was just the pandemic. It was all virtual. But even though it was virtual, we had tons of product announcements. We had the Korg ModWave. I want to say the Korg Op 6 as well that year, I think. I don't know for sure. The Behringer 2600, that was a big one. And the Wave State SE was announced and became vaporware, never to actually hit the store floors. The Yamaha YC range of keyboards, the stage keyboards, organ, piano, Hammond, EP, all that kind of stuff, that was a huge release for Yamaha that year. 2022, just last year. Now we've recovered from the pandemic and the manufacturers are bringing out product like crazy. We had the Oberheim OBX8. That was a huge one. The Groove Synthesis Third Wave, an amazing synthesizer. Yamaha with yet another range of stage keyboards, this time the CP range that was released. Another interesting one was the Melbourne Instruments Nina. That was the little desktop synth with the motorized knobs. That one's really cool. Notably absent from all of these is Roland. Roland did attend up until, I think it was 2020, the last time Roland showed up at NAMM. They've been missing in action from NAMM ever since, and they typically didn't really release things at NAMM. They just had a booth with their stuff there. Okay, now we're on to 2023, which just finished. Let's get on to the huge list of great synthesizers that were announced. Well, there weren't any, really. So, yeah, there's that. The big news at the show was the Polyend Tracker Mini, which is a miniature battery-powered version of the Polyend Tracker, and the Nectar Panorama CST, which is a dock controller, and also Icon released a set of dock controllers as well. Pretty much the entire show was dedicated to pedals and modular synth modules, because that's pretty much everything I saw. I was supremely disappointed in NAMM this year. In fact, I had been planning to buy a synthesizer and have been for months. And I put it off until NAMM because I wanted to see if something new and great came out that might want to change my mind as to where I was going to spend my money. Because yes, I was going to buy this synth that has been out for a while, but if something fantastic got released at NAMM this year, I might think about actually buying that instead. And nothing was released. There was nothing really announced, and so I guess I'm probably going to buy the synth that I was going to buy all along, which likely you'll see showing up here soon. The one synth that has been released, not at NAMM this year, but that I'm really interested in is the Expressive E Osmos. I don't know if it's one that I will actually end up buying. It seems to me almost like a one-trick pony, but it's so expressive in playing. I think what I might end up doing is plan a trip to Fort Wayne, Indiana, to Sweetwater to try and play one and see if it grows on me and what I think about it. So what do you think? Is NAMM on the decline? It certainly seems so in the last couple of years that there's just been less there. The manufacturers are exhibiting less. Some of them aren't even showing up anymore. There's less new products being released and announced. And it seems like the manufacturers are just doing the announcements throughout the year now. Originally, in the heyday of trade shows, NAMM was a big deal. It's just like CES. All the manufacturers came out to release their products because that's the only time you can really get coverage. But today, we have social media. Every single company has their own social media department, which gives them the ability to launch things with a big fanfare anytime they want without depending on the press corps attending a trade show. So maybe NAMM is on the way out and is not relevant anymore. That said, many of the trade shows in Europe that we've seen over the year, they're much smaller than NAMM, but they've been much more well attended and many more interesting products being released and announced. So I don't know what it means for NAMM, but I do know that Yamaha did not release a new Montage. I still think one's coming. What do you think? Leave your comments in the section below as to whether you think a Montage is coming or a new synth with an analog engine from Yamaha, maybe nothing at all. Let me know what you think. If you have any other comments, questions, corrections especially, suggestions, please also leave them in the comments section below. And if you have 15 seconds, just click like and say, hey, I like the video in the comment section, because it really lets the YouTube algorithm know that, hey, people like the content I'm posting. Please show it to other people who are also interested in synths. And of course, if you like what you're seeing, subscribe to the channel. You get notified every time I post a video. Oh, and one last thing. On the last video I did about this, I had someone write a comment and complain that there was too much talking and not enough playing in my video. But all I was doing was relaying news and predictions about the synthesizer. I wasn't demonstrating anything, so I'm not quite sure what he was expecting. So for that one YouTube viewer who was complaining that my videos where I'm talking about things have too much talking and not enough playing, here you go. Thanks for watching.